taxpayers to fund so-called safe spaces where young Australian Muslims can make inflammatory comments, they say, in safety. The Islamic Council of Victoria says its young people are feeling emotionally overloaded and need somewhere to vent without becoming surveillance targets. Under this proposal, the refuges would be paid for by diverting money from counter-terrorism and anti-extremism programs, and that means your taxpayer dollars. One Nation leader, Senator Pauline Hanson, joins us now. Pauline, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sam.
I think I know the answer to this. What is your response to the Victorian Islamic Council's proposal for safe rant rooms for young Muslims?
What a load of rubbish. How much more money have we got to put into this to make them feel good about themselves? I think it's absolute rubbish. And, you know, the money that we're pouring into counter-terrorism, they haven't even got enough to deal with the situation that we have throughout Australia. We've got about 60 counter-terrorist ASIO and other police working in Sydney, plus Melbourne, plus other places around the country. This has cost us billions of dollars. I can't believe it. They're actually admitting that they need to go out there and talk over their issues. No, I'm totally against it.
OK, I think most Australians are with you on that. Are you pleased in any way, not with this proposal, but that Muslim leaders are trying to come up with some answers for this radicalisation problem we have in this country?
Look, I welcome any answers to this, Sam, and yes, we do need to work together with, on this whole issue. It is a huge problem. I've been speaking about this prior to 2010, that we were going to have a big problem with Muslims, with Islam. Actually, it's not all Muslims, but with Islam, as they have in problems throughout the world. Learn from their mistakes. And I still say it again, we need to have a ban of Muslims from certain countries that are very extremist. We can't risk it anymore. We're in a position at 2.4 or 2.6% to actually make a difference and do something about it before it becomes too late.
You've written an open letter to the Prime Minister calling for a temporary ban on Muslim immigration. Have you heard back from Malcolm Turnbull?
No, I haven't. That was just actually sent to him yesterday, and I've made it quite clear in my statements to the Prime Minister and on air and on your station for how many years now about the problems we are going to have. We need strong leadership, and I think that the Prime Minister saying he's calling it Islamism is ridiculous. People are talking to me all the time, even my Facebook page, they're calling for strong leadership. I say Bill Shorten's a coward. He has no idea of how to deal with this situation. Heaven help us if he ever becomes Prime Minister. But Malcolm Turnbull, if he doesn't start being a strong leader that people are calling for, he'll be thrown out on his ear. People are frightened. They want change. They're frightened for the future generations.
Now, you've asked for people on terror watch lists, and can we point out there's 300 in Victoria alone. So these are big lists of people. There's a lot of people on these terror watch lists who are not Australian citizens to be interned to neutralise any possible harm. Where do we put these people if this goes ahead? It is growing in support, this idea.
You know what I would prefer, Sam? Get rid of their dual citizenship. If they're not Australian citizens, get them the hell out of this country. Those ones that are coming back from overseas fighting for ISIS or to do with Islam, they shouldn't be allowed back in the country. Let's just get out of these agreements that we've done and start taking control of our borders. I don't want these people in this country, and they're spreading their hate, their evil towards, others that are possibly turning through radicalisation. Strong leadership, and I'll tell the Prime Minister that. Get your act together. Let's have a Royal Commission into Islam. Let's determine whether it truly is a political ideology under the guise of a religion that is undermining our culture, our way of life, and our security.
OK, so like this bloke this week in Melbourne, he was Somalian born, but he was an Australian citizen. He came here when he was 10, I think. He was out on parole.
About 7.
What do you do with someone like that who was well known to authorities? He was a former ICE addict. I mean, I don't think this bloke was really truly doing this stuff in the name of Islam. He had a lot of issues, mental issues. What do you do with people like that?
Sam, let's deal with the whole facts. A lot of people in our society have mental issues, and a lot of them are tied up on drugs. And in towns like this, I'm travelling, out bush again, and I'm in St George. They have a big problem with ice and drugs and depression throughout our country, but people don't turn to violence and want to murder other people, and that's the problem. It is an ideology, and with these people, you know what? Intern them, because I don't want to see one more Australian killed or one more person in fear for their life or their kids' lives. And we've got to and I keep saying over and over again, even Koshy said it in his tweet. He said, about interning these people. Now, for years and years, you have been, and others have been having a go at me as if I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Well, this has come to fruition now, and there are real problems. And I warn the people, unless we deal with it now, we will get to a stage when we have so many in this country, you will not be able to turn it around. At this stage, we still can.
Yes.
But we need strong leadership, and that's what I call on the Prime Minister. Get your act together. Start dealing with it and be a leader of this nation for the people.
Koshy's waving his arms. I think his tweet said he wanted the proof to be reversed for these people. Not intern them, but they should be assumed to be guilty before they are assumed to be innocent. And it seems like
tax evaders, yes.
Yes. So not internship, but look, you're entitled to your opinion. Now, your first public response to the London Bridge terror attack on the weekend, in which we now know 2 Australians were killed, was to tweet for the travel ban. In hindsight, was the timing of that tweet appropriate?
Sam, what am I supposed to do? Sit back? Excuse me. I'm not going to apologise for anything that I say or do whatsoever. My whole life in the last 20 odd years has been dealing with issues. Politics is a dirty game, and I don't play politics, and I don't get in the gutter like these other politicians. I call it the way that I see it. And that's what the people want, is truth and honesty. Don't put a spin to it. And Bill Shorten's comments to me that was disgusting. Well, would you put Bill Shorten in there? Do you have faith in that man? I certainly don't. So people want to know. Don't treat the people of this country as if they're children and they can't handle the truth. They know what's going on. They read it on the internet. They know we're more of an open society. We know what's happening throughout the world. But our leaders treat them like kids, and they don't have an understanding. They don't want that anymore. Be upfront, be honest with them, call it the way it is, and they will handle it a lot better and have more respect for our leaders if they did.